This is the well-known chocolate bar, a Twix. Let's have a little look at it in a minute. Typically get 2 of the little fingers in. Oh my gosh, and I say little, look at the size of them now. They never used to be like that. But it is a biscuit base. And you've got the caramel there, not very much caramel actually, and then it's sort of wrapped in chocolate. There is sort of like a textured finish on the top there. I might try and repeat that because today we're making our own and it's gonna be a lot bigger than this. So yeah, as we've just seen, there are effectively 3 stages to a Twix. The first one being
the base.
So here are the ingredients for the biscuit base. We've got some butter here. In fact, this needs to be melted. So we'll get that going in there. And I guess one of the most common questions that is like, why homemade? What's the point? Why don't you buy it? Well, we've seen from there, like it's shrinkflation. Everything's getting smaller and more expensive, especially chocolate. It also just sort of tastes like fresher. You know what I mean? All right, melted butter. We've also got some plain flour. We've got some salt and some sugar. That creates the biscuit base. However, just quickly, we've got this tin here with some more butter. I'm gonna go grease lightning, John Travolta style. Yeah, I found out the other day, John Travolta's like a pilot. Like he's got his own runway in his house. How cool is that? You're just gonna pop to the shops and just like take off in your plane, I bet. Needs quite a big parking bay, doesn't it? And this baking parchment is bigger than the tray intentionally. I'm giving myself a lip here, like on 2 sides, so we can get it up like a little bit later on if needs be. Awesome. So what we'll do then is add all the dry in first of all, kind of like making a cake. That is way too dry, that will not make a biscuit base, so in goes the melted butter. It looks very, very dry, but I'm not gonna give in. And remember, we could make this a lot thicker if we want to. It is gonna be a little bit delicate, but that's okay. I mean, if you are worried about it, and I'm only saying that because I am slightly worried about it for peace of mind, you can add some water, more melted butter, a bit of milk, just to help it if you want. Yeah, like more of a, like, you see that how it's like a biscuity texture? That's what we're after, okay? It's almost like sand, but we need to keep working this through to get it a nice even layer. You can see it sort of popping up in certain areas there, it's a little bit bumpy. I'm gonna keep working away at this. Just preheating my oven, and I have got to be honest, that mixture wasn't quite enough for my tin. I've got most of it filled, but if I spread it any thinner, it's actually gonna be quite a thin biscuit base, and even in the Twix itself, you can see the majority was biscuit. So I've made another batch. So just where I can press into those gaps like that, just make some indents with a fork all the way along. And this is just, again, a thing that I wanna do, and no one's gonna see it. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm just putting a very light sprinkling of flour on the surface just to dry it out a little bit, blend it in a little bit. And I don't do that, folks. No one's gonna see it. Do you think they go to that attention to detail in the Twix factory? Probably not. The downside is this does take a fair amount of time, even this bake alone, half an hour. But meanwhile, here's something quite interesting. Yeah, this and this is a couple of examples. Phoebe, my eldest daughter, as you know, has always been into arts and crafts. She's done some logos for me before. She's now got her own little website where she's doing commissions, and this is some of the things she's working on right now. So I'll put a link to it here, or an image. It's called Cozy Crafts on Instagram and the website. So if you fancy helping her out, check it out.
Chapter 2, the middle bit.
It's time for our filling. So all of the filling ingredients just go in. The butter, 2 types of sugar, light brown or castor. You could just do one of each. I think light brown just gives that sort of like cookie vibe, doesn't it? I kind of wish I did that in the base now as well, like a chocolate chip cookie based Twix, which actually do exist, don't they? Cookie dough Twix. So there is no caramel in it. Is it actually still a Twix? I want to say stonking. I don't think I've said stonking in America since I've been here. That is stonking. This is some golden syrup, which I love that amber color. It's all the good stuff, isn't it? Here is some heavy cream, aka double cream here in the UK. And you might think this is a lot of ingredients, but like if you consider when they're in a factory, all the stuff that goes in, or if you look at the ingredients on most things, like there's a trend at the moment. Everyone's talking about when you buy bread in a shop, the amount of additives in it, when really obviously bread is like 3 or 4 ingredients. Like, why is there all these weird chemicals in it? So I might do like a whole series on the channel. I might just dedicate 1 month to bread and just doing starters and stuff. It's something I've always been interested in. But this is all of the ingredients for our filling, and it's gonna get very hot now. Do make sure it's on a nice low heat though. You wanna keep that nice and steady, but look at that. All of that marbling together. That is quite a cool sight. Oh wow. Can you see how it's going that sort of nice consistent color there? And the butter is just holding on. It's like, no, you'll never defeat me. I've used a bigger saucepan for a bigger surface area for it to spread out and heat consistently, but please do, I love how I say that as I'm not doing it, keep stirring it, medium-low heat consistently. It's so important we get this right. And the other thing, as I stop stirring again, you're gonna need a temperature thermometer like this or one of them laser things, because it's all about the heat that we get on this. If we don't warm it enough, it's gonna all be like gooey and you're gonna have a Twix that goes or if you get it too hard, it's gonna be absolutely rock hard like eating a stone. Which of course would be an amazing prank because you're gonna cover it in chocolate anyway, no one would know until they bit into it, but yeah, really do, this is important. Generally, this is one of my most favourite tools in the kitchen. We're going to take it to just around 240 Fahrenheit. So actually just over the temperature, this is so close. Just over the height when you boil sugar. So it's all about the sugar crystallization. As high as you take it is how the texture will be once it cools down. So you don't want a rocky Twix. Adrian, my Twix! No, no Rocky. You can see how much that is thickening and bubbling up. Sorry about the steam. I've got my thermometer there, I'll show you. I've just got that out of the pan. Little golden edges on it. Perfect, cooling down slightly before we pour this lava on it. And it really is lava, but please do keep stirring it. If you're using a thermometer like this, remember to move the thermometer a little bit so you can get in where the thermometer is, to keep moving it around. It wants to stick to the pan at every opportunity. And you want that consistent deep color, look at that. Be really, really careful. Do not film this at the same time. Okay, here we go, straight in there. Oh my gosh, my pan hates me right now. Please, please, please be careful if you're doing this. Let the heat kind of find its way and settle it. I have to remember this is absolutely scalding hot. I'm like leaning over it. The tray that we used earlier to flatten down the biscuit base we will use again in a bit. This is out the freezer, it's nice and cold. It's had a solid hour. I actually kind of wish that I did more wings, but actually if I, can you hear that? Oh, and also, look, this is something that I took out of the pan, and this is cooled down to room temperature now, so we can see that our caramel has actually worked really well. It's got that really nice texture to it where it's gonna hold its shape, but also got still that nice chewiness, which is awesome. So out of all of this, if you get that wrong, just go to the shop and buy one, all right? I'm hoping we should be able to lift this off. There we go. Fairly easily. Wow. Now is that question of basically how big do we want these to be? We can make just one finger, or we can do the two and slice it like in half, sort of get the width right and then just go down there. You're cool. Like, what should we do? Get the backing paper off, and then that gives you an even better vision there. Look at that. That's the ratio we're going with right there. Sort of 50-50 almost. Perfect. So there is a standard Twix for reference. And look, I can get 1, 2, 3 of those from one width, which is crazy. But also, speaking of the width of it, look, it is quite narrow. So we don't want to go too much thicker, because otherwise it will end up like not looking like a Twix. I think I'm just gonna, yeah, go just a little bit like this. Okay. Oh my gosh. That might be a touch too big actually. But then if you go too narrow, there is that risk of breaking it. I'll just go, right, let's be fair to it. Because obviously the chocolate does add some more size to it. There we go, I'm feeling a bit more comfortable with that. Oh, wow. Amazing. So I can use that as a rough template now. And also, considering the cost of the ingredients, it was a fair amount, but the cost of Twixes compared to that, this is quite good value for money. If it's a really hot day, maybe keep it in the fridge or the freezer whilst you're doing this, but it really is holding, look at that. That's so cool. They've not even been halved yet. That's so much food. Oh, I think I'm gonna halve it. Yeah, there we go. Look at that, it's almost the same width. I've gone a little wider to allow for the chocolate, like I say, but now we've gone even longer than that as well. Like that, I remember them being like that not too long ago. It's crazy. Right, keep doing that. And here's a fun little step for bumples. By custom bumples, I mean this on our Twix, which now looks absolutely ridiculous in size. Can you see like the ridges along the top here? So You could just completely ignore this step altogether. I don't know if a factory of like the chocolate goes in waves or something like that. You could actually coat it and then pipe it on. You could maybe get some of the caramel and like bunch it up so you get like custom homemade ridges. I'm gonna do something similar to that. We're gonna get some melted chocolate and pipe on some little bumples. That's what I'm calling it. I'm kind of like doing my own homemade chocolate factory here. Just little bands like this that will set on there. I hope that's made sense what I've just tried to do. So we'll set that only for about 5 minutes in the freezer, and whilst it's doing that, I'll melt up some more chocolate.
Chapter 3. Chocolate time.
And yep, as you guessed, for the third layer, this is the chocolate bowl that I just melted in the microwave for that little bumples. Bags of chocolate chips, just because chocolate chips will melt a bit quicker. It's recently Easter and the kids have got 800 Easter eggs in the house, but we'll ignore that. Very tempting to melt them. Melt this up. There we go, straight from the microwave. And just as a quick aside, how cool does that look just as a Twix, like on its own? Now, I'm gonna do something else, okay? So we need to cover the whole thing in melted chocolate and then like put it down on something. Now that is my pet hate because you're getting to the bottom and you're doing it and then you're lifting it off and it sticks sometimes to the wire rack. So we're just gonna brush our bottoms. And what I mean by that is taking some of the chocolate just to one side and just giving a little coating on the biscuit on the bottom there. We are brushing our bottoms. And what I'll do is set it in the fridge for about 5 minutes that side up so it's not sticking there. It still gives the bumples time to set too. And for me, that's just a personal thing. I just hate that thing where you drench it and you end up leaving half of it on the wire rack. Unless there's some, I mean, you could levitate it, you could lift it off slightly, but at least we know the bottom's covered. Our bumples are set and even our bottoms, okay? Just something to give it a nice base to sit on that's already in place. So, melted chocolate again from a jug, just pour it generously over and let's just see if that will coat and create those big bumps for us. I've got an absolute mountain of them left over. I can actually see my bumples appearing. This is working, I can't believe it. What? I just put the other Twix there for scale. There we go, all glossed up. I've still got from the actual surplus chocolate on a mat, some left over right over there that I could do with the others. So I've got quite a lot left. We'll set this up and see what they taste like. Here we go then, folks. So there is a standard Twix finger. This is one of our homemade ones. I've just peeled one off. It's actually not the best looking one, but it will do. But more importantly, we'll slice down into the Twix, okay? Look at that, not too bad. We did get those bumples though, didn't we? Look at that. And I'm just gonna slice the front off of this one. Oh no, it flew on the floor. Oh, wow. It's gonna focus on my face now, sorry. Look at that. That is absolutely obscene difference. Oh, and I've made so many of them. I'm gonna be living off Twixes. Is Twixes the plural of Twix? I don't know. Do we have a taste? Would you like to try a normal Twix for reference before you consume the Bumple homemade Twix?
I think I've eaten enough Twixes in my time.
Let's have a try. I'm gonna have a smaller chunk.
Me too.
Oh, do you want a little chunk like that?
Yeah, I'll have a little chunk. Oh,
Right.
wow.
It's cool, isn't it?
That's
really,
very
I
cool.
love the contrast, all the bands, isn't it?
Hey, I just realised something.
What?
A Twix is just like millionaire shortbread.
It is,
But in
but
bar
fully
form.
encased in log Twix
Yeah.
form. Yeah,
Why-
it is a bit.
Why have I never realised that before? That's really nice. You got like the crunch of the shortbread and then the chewy caramel encased in lots of chocolate.
That texture of that caramel we kept it in the fridge a little bit. I mean, it doesn't need to be room temperature just so it's perfect. It's a little bit of bite to it, but absolutely perfect. Like, you would rather that than the opposite of it all going out. Like I say, the shortbread is lovely as well. And that chocolate just wrapping around. It tastes fresh as well, doesn't it? And this looks absolutely pathetic now in comparison, doesn't it?
It really does.
I don't know how they do get the bumples on it, but I quite like that little hack with the pipe in.
I think you did well. That was a really good idea.
Oh, cheers, mate. Right, give it a go for yourself, folks. See you next time. And maybe if there's another one you'd like me to clone, another bar, we'll give it another try. Bumples, optional. Overnight, I've left these. This is the next day. They've been in an airtight container at room temperature, and they are now absolutely incredible. There's something that has happened to those flavours. They've intensified, it's sort of softened all together. Please try this.